guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you're here, and I'm coming at you today with another cake basics video. If you guys watched my last video on how to properly level a cake and you liked it, this one is for you as well. Today we are going to go over how to crumb coat your cake and why crumb coating your cake is important. If you are looking to start a business or just get into baking as a hobby, then please stick around, please subscribe and to this channel so you guys can get all the cake tips and education and tutorials, and also some lifestyle as well, because I like to keep things personal. It's always funner that way. So I'm gonna go over what I have here first, and then we'll jump into doing it. So I have my bowl of icing right here, my cakes, they're already leveled, ready to go, and a towel, and then I have my utensils. These are my go-to icing utensils when it comes to baking. Everyone is completely different when it comes to that. For me, I love a offset spatula. I typically, when I first got into baking, I used to use the straight one. Now I've come back to now I've grown to like the offset more. They have straight spatulas, they have the offsets, and then you have, which is just a cake spatula, that's all you're gonna need, and then you're gonna need your cake scraper. You can use, they have different types of ones. I personally like the ones that have like the handle right here, kind of, because it just fits better in my hand. So then we have our cake board right here, which your cake is gonna go right on that. The first thing I always do when starting my icing is I always give it a nice stir. Kind of let those air bubbles get out. After you make a batch of icing, if you take your spatula and stir really fast, you can actually hear the air coming out of the icing, like you popping those air bubbles. We do not want air bubbles in our buttercream. Bad, bad, bad. And you don't, like, you know when you put icing in piping bags, and then when you first cut the bag, there's like that air, like, which is normal when it comes to piping bags because you're putting it in there. But in the middle of piping, you get an air bubble. That's because there's air in your icing. So you need to stir, 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 and that will prevent that issue. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little baby one. I call this the baby because it's smaller, obviously. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of icing on my spatula, just enough like that, just to stick right on the cake board. And what that's gonna do is glue the cake to the cake board. I'm gonna go ahead and just pat that down, and then I'm gonna take a big thing of icing, like about that much. And I'm gonna take my small one and just smooth out. And what I'm doing is I'm using my turntable. I'm not moving the cake. So I'm turning the turntable, and I'm taking these two fingers, my middle finger and my thumb, and I'm resting it right here on the edge of the cake on the outside, just to keep it in place. Sometimes your cake will move even if you glue it down. So I just got into a habit of holding it while I turn, and I'm using my right here to turn the turntable. Always use your turntable to your advantage, because I have seen people, right before COVID happened, I was holding cake classes. I just started them, and then COVID, and then now I don't do them anymore. As of now, it is something I want to bring back in the future, but I definitely want it to be a lot safer, a safer environment for people to be coming into. I also was holding them in my home, so with my pregnancy and like my home being my safe place, I just haven't been holding cake classes. But typically what a lot of people tend to do is they don't use their turntable. So like while I'm doing this, like my spatula is staying straight, but I'm turning the turntable. A lot of people were turning the spatula. So they were like, but if you really just hold the spatula still and use your turntable, but a lot of people tend to use the move the spatula and not the cake table. So just get in the habit of always using your turntable. It is there to make your life easier. What I do personally, I'm sure a lot of cake people do it. Some people may do it differently, I don't know. But what I do is when laying the cake down, the bottom goes on the bottom. And then what I do for the next one is we're actually gonna flip this down so the level side is gonna go down where the bottom's on the top. I'm just gonna go ahead and set that on there. So there you go. Then what the next thing we're gonna do is called the crumb coat. You always wanna crumb coat your cake first before you put that final icing on. And that is because the crumb coat actually seals the crumbs to the cake. So when you go to put your final coat of icing, there's no crumbs in that final coat of icing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and typically when filling the cake, when layers, you're gonna have icing that bulges out on the side like that. Just pick it up and smear it into the cake. Nice. So while smearing it, you're gonna have icing left over on your spatula. Now what you're gonna wanna do is have an extra bowl for your crumb coat icing. You do not wanna take your crumb icing and put it in the clean icing. You want a separate bowl. We're gonna go ahead and clean our spatula off in this bowl. Grab clean icing. And then we're just gonna go ahead and go right around the cake. So what I'm doing is I'm moving my spatula kind of like in a figure 8 motion, like you're drawing an 8. And we're just gonna go right around. And we're not putting a lot, just enough to seal the crumbs and the icing bowl. Now we're gonna use the crumb icing to put back on the crumbs. And we're just gonna go ahead and do this all the way around. And if you look from us just reusing the crumb coat icing, we literally, this is all that we have left over. Let me show you guys. This is all that we have left over that's bad icing. Because we continue to use that crumb coat icing all over the cake. Now we have plenty of icing to use for the final coat. So this is the only amount of icing that I'm gonna be throwing away. So you can go ahead and just set your bowl to the side. So this is a crumb coat. It kind of looks like a naked cake. If you guys have seen those before, it's pretty, just to seal those crumbs in. if I was to be doing a naked cake, I would still do the crumb coat, and I would just do another thin layer of icing on top. But what you want to do after you do the crumb coat is you're actually going to want to pop this into the fridge and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and let the icing set. Then you'll go back on it with that final coat. The easiest way to pick up your cake off a turntable is just to take your offset, make sure it's clean, slide it right underneath the cake board, just like that. Pick it up enough just to get your fingers underneath of it. And now your cake is fully crumb coated and it can go into the fridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the fridge. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.